Here are the 10 unsolved cases. Number 10, the SS Ourang Medan. In 1947, when ships traveling the Straits of Malacca heard a troubling distress call that says all officers including captain are dead. An American ship called Silver Star answered the distress call and found the Ourang Medan. As no one came while calling, they boarded the ship and saw the horror scene. The faces of the crew were construed in such a way one would think they had witnessed something ghastly before their demise. They decided to tow the Ourang Medan to port. But as soon as they attached the tow line, it smoked and exploded, taking all its secrets along with it. Number 9, the Cape Intruder. This is not a famous case. Back in 2005, in the affluent town of Cape Elizabeth, Maine, the community experienced something unnerving. During the night, victims who kept their doors unlocked would wake up in the morning to catch a brief glimpse of a man staring at them. Before they react, the man would flee the scene. Nothing was stolen and nobody was injured or killed. All that is he took was their privacy when he sneaked into their bedrooms to watch them sleep. After some intrusions in August, December, and February, he never did break in again. Number 8, the Glico Moringana case. It deals with a company's Ezeki Glico, known for its Pocky snacks. In 1984, two armed men in masks broke into CEO Katsuhisa Ezeki's mother's home and bound her. They also tied his wife and daughter. Cutting off the telephone cords, they raided the bathroom, where Ezeki and his other two children were hiding. They abducted Ezeki and held him hostage at a warehouse and issued a ransom for 1 billion yen and 100 kilograms of gold bars. Their plans were discovered when Ezeki escaped 3 days later. A few weeks later, a container with hydrochloric acid and a threatening letter addressed to Glico were found in Ibaraki, where the warehouse was located. The letter from a group, the Monster with 21 Faces. The letters threatened the company's products, claiming that their candies were laced with potassium cyanide soda. Their final letter towards the company read, "We forgive Glico." They turned their sights on the food companies Marudai Ham, House Foods Corporation, and Fujiya. In exchange of stopping their harassment towards Marudai, one of the police officer in the place of employ was to hand them random money on a train. They saw the prime suspect, a man who was well built, his hair cut short and permed, with eyes like those of a fox. After dropping the money as instructed, he and another investigator attempted to follow the fox-eyed man, but lost him. After continuing harassment towards the police, a year later Police Superintendent Yamamoto committed suicide by setting himself on fire, ashamed of his failure to capture the fox-eyed man. 5 days following the death, the Monster with 21 Faces sent its final letter to the media, which replied, "There are many more fools who want to copy us. We didn't commit that crime. Yamamoto died like a man. So we decided to give our condolence. We decided to forget about torturing food marketing companies. If anyone blackmails any of the food marketing companies, it is not us." Monster with 21 Faces disappeared, never to be heard from again. Number 7. The Jeanette Depalma case. It all started in 1972 when a dog brought a decomposed forearm home. Police searched and a body was found at top of a cliff in Springfield. The body was identified to be that of Jeanette Depalma, a 16-year-old who had gone missing for 6 weeks. The hill where she was discovered was covered with occult symbols. Because of a flood, much of the case's details have been destroyed. Number 6, the dead women who named her killer. Although this case has been solved, how it was solved remains a mystery. In 1977, a respiratory therapist in Chicago was murdered in her apartment. Teresita Bassa was found under a flaming mattress, a knife buried in her chest. It seemed impossible to find the perpetrator, until Remy Chua, a coworker who barely knew the victim, involuntarily became a leading source of information. Chua began having frequent visions and nightmares about Bassa. It started in the locker room of her work, where she experienced seeing a man's face behind Bassa. Chua then began channeling Bassa's spirit when conversing with her husband. While channeling Bassa's spirit, Chua told her husband the entire story of Bassa's murder. She claimed an orderly at the hospital named Alan Showery was helping Bassa with her television when he assaulted her. He then killed her. The spirit gave the details of what happened to her jewelry, which was given to Showery's wife. They reported the case. The police were skeptical at first, but after seeing the Bassa's jewelry on Showery's wife, Bassa's cousin was able to confirm it, just as the spirit said she could. The police were able to convict the man for 14 years in jail. Number 5, the severed feet mystery. In 2007, a girl was roaming in a beach in British Columbia when she found a sneaker. To her horror, she found a human foot inside. Since then, several feet have washed ashore. The feet have been connected to 5 men, a woman, and 3 of unknown sex. The case has never been completely closed, The Vancouver police managed to identify one foot in 2008 to a man who was described suicidal, and also to match 2 other feet to a woman who was also believed to have committed suicide. As there is no more evidence, case remains open. Number 4. The Tara Calico case. In the morning of September 20, 1988 in New Mexico, Tara Calico borrowed her mother's bike to go out. She planned to play tennis that afternoon and asked her mom to drive out after her in case she got a flat tire and didn't return home by noon. She never did return. Every lead went to a dead end until a year later, when a photo was found depicting a young woman her age and a missing boy, both gagged. The 9-year-old Michael Henley went missing in the same area as Calico in April of 1988 when he was hunting turkeys with his father. They appeared to be in the back of a van. Initially, Tara's mother didn't think the girl was her, but the girl in the photograph had a scar identical to Calico. But still, due to the lack of evidence, many experts dismiss the photograph. In 1990, Michael Henley's body was found in Zuni Mountains where he was hunting, which strongly disconnects the theory that the two were abducted and taken to Florida. Number 3. The boy in the box. It was in the year 1957 in Philadelphia when a hunter found the bruised body of a boy in a J.C. Penney box. The boy, around 4 to 6 years old, was nude and wrapped in flannel. Fearing his muskrat traps would be confiscated by police, the hunter didn't report the body. It was 2 days later when a college student found the body that the police started on the case of America's Unknown Child. In 2003, they opened the case again when interviewing a woman identified as M, who claimed her abusive mother bought the child back in 1954. According to her, her mother killed the boy in a fit of rage. As M was mentally unstable, the investigation was closed as well, leaving the boy to remain America's Unknown Child. Number 2. The Thaman Shud case. On the morning of December 1, 1948, a body was found on Somerton Beach in Adelaide, Australia. The man's body was in perfect condition, with no injuries. He was well dressed, but the labels on his clothes were missing. In his pocket was a train ticket to Henley Beach, never to be used. After a month, they found a suitcase linked to him at Adelaide Railroad Station with its label was removed. Police also reported no foreign substance in his body that could directly link his death to poisoning. A month later, they found a secret pocket in the man's trousers. It read, Thaman Shud, which means ended, or finished, which can be found in a poem entitled The Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam. Immediately police searched for the book. A man claiming that he found the book in the backseat of his unlocked car a week before they discovered the body. On the back of it was a strange code scrawled. A phone number linking to a nurse was also discovered. Both denied any connection with the dead man. And until there are any breaks in the case, his grave will remain reading, Here lies the unknown man who was found at Somerton Beach the 1st of December 1948. Number 1. The Zodiac Killer. Most people are usually quiet about their crimes, but Zodiac, as he dubbed himself. From 1968 to 1969, he taunted the police with his coded letters to the local paper. His terror began when Betty Lou Jensen, 16, and David Arthur Faraday, 17, were found lying outside of their bullet-peppered car. Half a year later, a couple who parked their car 4 miles away from that crime scene was also gunned down, one injured and one killed. The survivor, Michael Majot, was able to give a description of the killer. He described a heavy-set white man. At 12:48 a.m. that same night, police received a strange call from Zodiac which gave details about the murder. A month later, newspapers received the first letter from the Zodiac Killer. He demanded them publish the letter on the front page. The letter described the murders, all written with a mysterious code. One such letter was decoded. It read, "It is more fun than killing wild game in the forest because man is the most dangerous animal of all." The self-proclaimed Zodiac Killer was directly linked to at least 5 murders in Northern California in 1968 and 1969. Soon arrived another letter beginning, "Dear Editor, this is the Zodiac speaking." It also described the murders in detail and taunted police for not having been able to crack his code or catch him. 3 days after the 4th Zodiac killing, the 1969 murder of taxi driver Paul Stein, the San Francisco Chronicle received a letter claiming the crime. Written in the same erratic print as the Zodiac's previous letters, it gave the details of Stein's murder and was accompanied by a bloody scrap of Stein's shirt. In 1974, the letter stopped, although the